businesses and by extension CEOs are increasingly expected to play a leading role in addressing challenges that extend beyond their business goals. Those are the findings of the 2022 Edelman Trust Barometer, which surveyed 36,000 respondents. It reveals that in the UAE, businesses are embracing an expanded mandate. Survey respondents look forward to CEOs leading on issues of job security, technology, automation, sustainability, and wage inequality. And we're joined by the CEO of Edelman Middle East, Omar Karam. Thanks so much for being with us. Now, the Trust Barometer has some interesting findings about CEOs and their roles, not just as company figureheads, but really as societal leaders, Omar.
Absolutely. So what we found in this year is that there's greater expectation on CEOs to be discussing more societal issues. So 85% of the people we spoke to suggest that their CEO needs to take a stand on issues that relate to them. And then there's a greater expectation that people would choose their employer based on the CEO's position on tackling important issues that matter to them. There is also the wider point that 81% see the CEO as a societal leader. So no longer is it just the government actually talking, but businesses as a whole have an expectation. And we've seen that with a double-digit increase of 11 points for trust in business. So as the government has always been one of the most trusted institutions in the UAE, businesses is catching up at the same time.
Well, that's great news. Now, your survey also reveals 7 key insights on trusted companies. For example, they're better prepared against risk and they're more resilient in the face of crises, etc. Tell us a little bit more about these 7 insights, if you would.
So absolutely, this is exactly why we have been measuring trust in the 4 institutions of government, media, business and NGOs for the past 22 years. And trust is important because it helps protect and build reputations. But underneath that, it means that you can attract some of the best talent. You're more resilient in terms of crisis. It means that you're more likely to attract institutional investment and partners. But also it means that you are likely to have more external advocates and supporters in the market to help protect your brand and build it.
Now, your survey also highlights, unfortunately, that there are concerns over misinformation and the trustworthiness of news, and this is at an all-time high. Tell us a little bit about that.
This is a long-going trend. So we first started to see this for the battle for truth in 2018. And what we're seeing globally is that there's a downward spiral of trust in the 4 institutions apart from business. Even in the UAE, people are concerned about fake news and misinformation being intentionally used as a weapon. So while the UAE is towards the lower end of it, there is still an increase of 8 points of people being concerned about fake news. But then again, the UAE has done a very good job in terms of the actual regulation of that to help address that. And then also making sure that there are trusted sources of information. So when people are actually making decisions, business decisions, investment partnerships, etc., that there is a go-to place where people can actually gather their info.
Okay, thanks so much for joining us as CEO of Edelman Middle East, Omar Karam.
Thank you.